Hey, welcome back. It's time for lesson 46. God is the love in which I forgive. God does not forgive because he has never condemned, and there must be condemnation before forgiveness is necessary. Forgiveness is the great need of this world, but that is because it is a world of illusions. Those who forgive are thus releasing themselves from illusions, while those who withhold forgiveness are binding themselves to them. As you condemn only yourself, so do you forgive only yourself. Yet, although God does not forgive, his love is nevertheless the basis of forgiveness. Fear condemns and love forgives. Forgiveness thus undoes what fear has produced, returning the mind to the awareness of God. For this reason, forgiveness can truly be called salvation. It is the means by which illusions disappear. Today's exercises require at least 3 full 5-minute practice periods, and as many shorter ones as possible. Begin the longer practice periods by repeating today's idea to yourself as usual. Close your eyes as you do so, and spend a minute or two in searching your mind for those whom you have not forgiven. It does not matter how much you have not forgiven them. You have forgiven them entirely or not at all. And that goes back to that part from before where we can't have just a sliver of doubt or a sliver of fear or a sliver of worry or a sliver of unforgiveness, because even that sliver means that you are not fully in peace and you are not fully able to feel love because you are holding on to negativity, to unforgiveness. If you are doing the exercises well, you should have no difficulty in finding a number of people you have not forgiven. It is a safe rule that anyone you do not like is a suitable subject. Mention each one by name and say, "God is the love in which I forgive you," and say their name. The purpose of the first phase of today's practice periods is to put you in a position to forgive yourself. After you have applied the idea to all those who have come to mind, tell yourself, "God is the love in which I forgive myself." Then devote the remainder of the practice period to adding related ideas such as, "God is the love with which I love myself." "God is the love in which I am blessed." The form of the application may vary considerably, but the central idea should not be lost sight of. You might say, for example, "I cannot be guilty because I am a son of God. I have already been forgiven." No fear is possible in a mind beloved of God. There is no need to attack because love has forgiven me. The practice period should end, however, with a repetition of today's idea as originally stated. The shorter practice periods may consist either of a repetition of the idea for today in the original or in a related form as you prefer. Be sure, however, to make more specific applications if they are needed. They will be needed at any time during the day when you become aware of any kind of negative reaction to anyone, present or not. In the event, tell him silently, so in your mind, think, "God is the love in which I forgive you." So, I love this lesson. The biggest thing I have learned so far from the course, I'd have to say, is forgiveness. And this is just the beginning. There are so many lessons as you go through the course that address forgiveness and help you to understand it at a deeper and deeper level each time. So, I love how it says God does not forgive because he is never condemned. The goal of the course is to get to a point where you're beyond the need for forgiveness because you don't condemn anyone ever, including yourself, ever again. That is in the distance. I'm still not there. But thank goodness we have forgiveness. We have the ability to catch ourselves immediately. I can't remember if I've said this before, but I was listening to an Abraham Hicks talk, whatever, and video, and she was talking about how if there were, say, your car, and it was at the bottom of a hill, and it's like, at the bottom and it's flat now and it starts rolling, you might feel like you could probably stop it. But you put that same car at the top of a hill and it starts rolling, you're not going to get in front of it because it is just going to roll over you. So the idea is that if we catch things before they become mountains, when we make molehills out of mountains, before something that's upsetting you gets to the point where it is huge, if you can catch it right away, then you're more likely to be able to stay in that state of peace for longer or get back into it more quickly. I mean, that makes sense, right? So, the forgiveness of yourself is huge. With perception and projection, we learn that oftentimes, okay, fine, all the time, you may not see it right away, but all the time when you're upset at someone else for something that they're supposedly doing to you or saying to you, you realize that really you have done that same thing to someone else in maybe a slightly different form. And so you are upset with yourself. And so you need to forgive you and that person. It's easier for us to think that we need to forgive the other person first. So we start there. And then we look within and say, okay, now when have I done this? Okay, great. And the thing is, condemnation, we don't want to condemn someone. The things that people have done to you are not worth killing them or killing yourself. And that is really heavy to think about right now because I've been watching that show, 13 Reasons Why, and it deals with a teenager who commits suicide because of 13 different people who had done something or said something that was, oftentimes pretty awful. And unfortunately, that person felt the way out was death. Of course, it's a fictional character, but I mean, I know people like that from high school. I'm sure many people can think of somebody from their high school who didn't make it. They felt that ending their life was the way to get out of their situation. And it's heartbreaking because any of us who have lived through high school realize that high school doesn't matter. And as big as those feelings feel at that time, when you live longer, you realize that was just the beginning and life gets better and you get to go on to the next phase. And as you live through the darkness and you see that you come out of the darkness, it's beautiful and it's encouraging for the next time you're in the darkness. So forgiveness is a very, very strong way to pull yourself out of forgiveness. And the next step from forgiveness is to get to a place of appreciation of that person or for even that thing that is frustrating you, to find a way to appreciate it. That's when you're taking it to even a further level, which you'll get there, and the lessons will take us there. So, fear condemns, love forgives. So God is not forgiving us because he doesn't see that we've done anything wrong. We are the ones who believe that we are sinful. So we are the ones who need forgiveness. So we have this tool that we can use. Let's see. So forgiveness undoes what fear has produced. Fear, whether your forgiveness is related to fear, because oftentimes we think we need to hold on to what somebody did to us so we can learn from it and basically hold it against them for the next time we interact with them, and inevitably they end up probably doing the same thing again, only because we have labeled them that thing. I've talked about this before. If somebody cheated on you, that happened to me in high school. I was cheated on, and I labeled that person a cheater and a liar. And even though they got to a point where they had really changed, I refused to believe that they had changed. And I even told that person's sibling, there's no way that this person has changed. And realized that, I'm holding another person to their past. And if I can forgive them, forgiveness means letting it go. So good luck with this. It is not simple at first to really get forgiveness, but any effort you make is worthwhile. So even if you can feel within you that you haven't really forgiven this person, but you know you want to, that's enough for now. Okay? Trust that. Keep going. Forgive yourself. Love yourself. And recognize that you and everyone around you are all connected and all one. All right. I'll see you tomorrow for lesson 47. Take care.